Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, I get a lot of questions sent to me about people wanting to know if they should get their note graded. And first and foremost, that's the question I really can't answer. Because if you want a note graded, I would highly recommend buying the note graded. Because if you buy a raw note, now you are determining the price you pay for that note based on your ability to grade a note. And if you can't grade a note, well, then how are you paying the proper price? The opposite is true. If you have a note that you're looking to sell and you don't know the grade, you could be selling yourself short. So it's important to learn how to grade a note. But more importantly, when you're buying notes, understand that if you're buying an ungraded note, more often than not, you're going to be able to take advantage of sellers who don't know how to grade. Me personally, I am very hard on raw notes, and I do that because that way I know if I was to ever get the note graded, hopefully it'll come out better than I expected and I can actually show a profit. But more often than not, you get a person who says a note is probably a 20 if you were to get it graded. Well, then they're also paying the grade 20 price for it, and then they want to take it and get it graded. Well, now you paid full price for the note, it's still ungraded, then you want to pay the grading fees, and then have it come back to say that it's a 20. Well, that doesn't make sense. If you wanted a note graded 20, buy a note graded 20, because grading a note does not increase the value. It just clarifies the grade. So if you really want a note that's in a grade 20, buy one that says it. How do you hold up a ungraded note that's about a 20 and have a different asking price for a note that is graded a 20? So yeah, what I'm saying is don't be the one wasting money to send in your notes graded. If you really want one graded, buy it that way. Now, it's a lot of fun trying to game the system and try to find a grade 20 note for a grade 8 price and then hopefully send it in and make money, but that's a whole different story. That's not about trying to game the system there. That's about trying to make money. Not really about collecting as much as it is about being a business person. All right, anyway, I got my 1,000 in singles here. Let's take a peek at what I found this week. Starting off, found a note with George and a stamp that says, I grew pot. And look at how old that note is, 1995. So this one's been going around for a while. Apparently pot does not age you like alcohol. This one is an alternator, 84838480. Then I found some trinaries, 5s, 8s, and 9s. Here's 0s, 7s, and 9s. 3s, 4s, and 9s. 1s, 2s, and 5s. And then this one's all kinds of stuff. Still not worth anything, but man, if I was Kingdom currency, this would be worth a fortune, because you've got a pair of 9s and a pair of 2s and a pair of 4s and another pair of 4s. So it's 4 pairs next to each other. So what? It's also a trinary, 2s, 4s, and 9s. And it's also quad 4s. This note's still only worth $1. Why? Because who's looking for one of these? Why would you collect this? You take it to a dealer and the dealer's going to say spend it. There's no additional value there. Is it neat? Sure. But is it worth anything? No. What's it going to be worth 20 years from now? $1. Why? Because they'll have printed millions more since then. So no, it has no additional value. Quad 6s, once again, no value on the quads, no value on trinaries. I collect them because I think it's fun. Then I got some stars. 2021 star note, last year for stars. Always check, see if they're filled in. Another 2021, fairly decent shape. 2017A, 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 2013, kind of rough shape on that one. And then some older notes, 2003A in rough shape, 2003A also pretty rough. Another 2003A in rough shape, and another, these will all be going back. 2003A, 2003A. Yeah, none of these are keepers. 2003A, 2003. This one's actually in nice shape for what it is. So that one's going to be a keeper. And the oldest note I found this time, 1988. So yeah, that's what I found this week. What did I bring out? Well, I was talking a little bit about grading, and a lot of people don't know how to grade notes very well. And if you don't know how to grade notes, I highly, highly recommend just buying the note graded. That takes all the discussion out of it. Now you know the grade. Now you know the value based on the grade. So now it's just a matter of negotiating price. It's the safest way to go. I got this note. This is a 1869 $5 legal tender. It's the original wood chopper. It's not in the greatest condition, but this is one of the Rainbow Series notes. I did not have the $5 Rainbow wood chopper, and I was able to get this from my friend Tyler. Thank you so much, Tyler. I get to chalk another one up off the list. This is one of the top 100 greatest notes of all time, and that means that I am now up to, I believe, 34 of these particular notes. This one was number 47 out of the top 100. So yeah, being able to knock that one off, that was a great feeling. Now, the thing is about this note is you got to look closely at it. When you look, you can still see the color. You can still see the rainbow in there. You can still make out the red there. You can make out the blue back here fading into the green. When you look at the back, you can see everything on there as well. It's neat when they've got everything written this way on it. Very tough to read because of the condition on this bill. Also because of the lettering that they used. Overall, pretty cool to get one of these. Okay, but the thing is that this note has been graded, and it's been graded an 8. Now, when you look at this note, you can see many, many major creases in the note. You can see there's a little chunk missing out of the top right here. You can see how rough the corners are. You can see the rough edges. I mean, there is no denying the condition of this note. But I don't have to argue about the condition of this note because it's graded an 8. Not only is it graded an 8, it's clean. So there's no argument to be made. If someone was to ever want to assess the value of this note, it's very easy to figure out what this note is worth. We don't have to debate how many creases there are. We don't have to debate the quality of the paper. We don't have to debate the serial number. We don't have to debate anything that may be on the note like this, because all that's already been debated and is now part of the grade. So because it's been graded 8, and because 8 is one of the most common grades that they list prices for, it's very easy to determine a value. So let's take a look at the book and see exactly what that value might be. I'm pulling out paper money of the United States, and let's see what we got here. Get that out of the way. There is the wood chopper right on top. Rainbow. You can see series of 1869. Signatures of Allison and Spinner. And in a VG8, it's $475. In a 12, it's $750. In a 20, it's $1,250. Going all the way up to Gem 65, you're talking $9,750 for that particular note. One of the other things about the Rainbow Series, of course, is that the serial number ends in a star. This is not a replacement note. All of them ended that way, so that's all there is to say about that particular star. But once again, because the note is graded, there's no debate on the value. In a grade 8, this note books out at $475. If it wasn't graded, can you see how there'd be a huge debate on that? And even then so, you would start off your debate at that $475 mark and negotiate from there. But how far down would you really get them? Would it cover the cost of grading and shipping and insurance and time? Or is it just better off to buy the note graded as is? I'm always of the opinion that if you are ever unsure of your grading skills, just buy the note graded. If you are trying to buy a note dirt cheap and buy it for the price of an 8, get it graded to a 20 and make a profit, well, that's different. It's fun to do, but there's a lot of risk there. But if you're just determined to have a note in your collection that is graded, buy it graded and save yourself the hassle. All right, guys, that's what I got for you this time. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.